This meeting is now called to order. I want to welcome everybody. I am Nadine Allen, retired judge and president of the Cincinnati Hamilton County Public Library. I want to welcome you all here, and I'm so glad to see everybody here. And thank you all for electing me as president.
Unanimous.
And it was unanimous. I've never had that kind of vote before. And is our public person in the room?
They may be making their way up.
Yeah. Okay, we'll wait for them.
Yeah, they're gonna speak or they're just coming in.
I don't know that we know yet. We'll find out.
They're making their way in.
They're coming. I hear all the doors.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I'm gonna find some good songs for you, so you just wait.
Oh, it's Gabby.
Probably right.
So that's not public speaking.
Gabby, hi. Are you speaking or are you just attending? Okay.
Just here present to observe? All right, and do we have another person?
Yes.
Is that it? That's it.
I
Okay.
borrowed,
Okay,
the watchman was kind enough to give me this.
all right.
He's gonna come up and get it.
Okay, since we're now back in order, the first action, I'm gonna ask Molly, would you please do the roll call of trustees in attendance?
Yeah. Miss Allen,
Present.
Mr. Harding,
Here.
Mr. Hendon,
Here,
Mr. Olson,
Here.
Miss Redden,
Here.
Miss Reynolds. Here. Thank you.
And now the first action item will be the director's report.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And the first thing I'd like to do in my report is do a brief review of 2022. So despite the challenges presented last year by the pandemic, inflation, ongoing supply chain issues, it was another successful year for our library. Once again, our staff and our library received a fair amount of recognition. There's more to it, but I did put some highlights here. For the second year in a row, we were honored with multiple annual awards by the Ohio Library Council. Laura Rosario, Reading Branch, she's our library customer specialist there. She was named the Service of Excellence Award winner. Kaloni Parks, West End Branch Manager, and Genealogy and Local History Reference Coordinator Kent Mulcahy. They were recognized for their work on the West End Stories project. They were the winners of the Library Innovation Award. The Cincinnati Preservation Association honored us with our Walnut Hills Branch renovation with the Excellence in Institutional Rehabilitation Award, noting that the project exemplifies the balance of providing upgrades and needs for a community while respecting and celebrating the historic building. We also had the Special District's Top 10 Technology Innovation Award for our work on the IMLS grant that supported the SAVES work with the Cincinnati Museum Center, offering access to technology in 5 communities. The Greater Cincinnati Chinese Cultural Exchange Association in 2022, they gave us the Community Leadership Award for partnering activities like the Chinese Railroad Workers Photo Exhibit and Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month events. And finally, the Super Partner Award from the Workforce Council of Southwest Ohio, formerly the Southwest Ohio Regional Workforce Investment Board. That one's over on the ledge there. It's the colorful one. I give them credit. They took their game up a notch on the award. It's impressive. I do want to note that Library Journal annual ranking explanation. The pandemic did disrupt several of the usual recognition avenues, including altering the conditions for the Library Journal's annual 5-star ranking. We had been ranked as a 5-star library for 9 consecutive years. This year, we are not on the list. We, along with the vast majority of Ohio's excellent public libraries, 75% of them in fact, were disqualified for consideration based on guidance provided by the state of Ohio. A letter to this effect from the state librarian is included as Exhibit 1 to my report. To summarize, the data used in the producing LJ's ranking that was gathered primarily during the pandemic year of 2020. The state library provided explicit instructions guiding Ohio's public libraries to submit not available rather than our actual customer visit numbers for our official stats. And that's what's used to establish the rankings. This caused our disqualification. It is clear that the state library gave us bad instructions. I, along with several other directors of public libraries in Ohio, followed up with the state librarian and I requested that attached letter. We have discussed the issue also with the editor of Library Journal. The lack of ranking was not a result of use or service. I've informed our staff of this frustrating situation and assured them that we all know we are an outstanding public library no matter this error by the state and subsequent lack clarification by Library Journal. And of course, I offer that same assurance to our trustees and our communities.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Absolutely. Annual report, I think everyone around the table has a copy of that. It will be discussed in the strategy report, offers an opportunity to highlight services we provide that may not be known to everybody in the community. This includes homework helpers, available at about 20 libraries for kids K through 8. We provided nearly 9,000 homework sessions. We distributed almost 300,000 meals and snacks to young people, faxed and scanned more than 100,000 documents for our customers free of charge, completed 328 voter registrations. Our outreach department delivered 155 items directly to daycare schools and senior facilities, and we had over 1.5 million Wi-Fi sessions by customers. Moving on to some highlights for development. Our development office set a high bar for success last year, including the 2022 Mary S. Stern Lecture. Walter Isaacson discussed his most recent biography, The Code Breaker. This is a gripping account of how Nobel Prize winner Jennifer Doudna and her colleagues launched a scientific revolution. Special thanks to Dr. Peter and Sandy Stern and the Stern Lecture Committee, as their generous donation and hard work are what make that possible. Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Staff Development Day in 2022 successfully ended in September, training over 800 staff. Dr. Hill, the library's DEI and Culture Director, presented the first two parts of a 6-part explicit bias curriculum, and she'll be presenting parts 3 and 4 in this spring's Staff Development Days. Facility Master Plan, we continue to make progress on that, opening the Walnut Hills branch and the refreshed Green Township branch in 2022. We have several projects currently in progress. They're listed here: Coreyville, Pleasant Ridge, Hyde Park, West End, Forest Park, Sims, the Price Hill Parklet, Main Library, and in Madisonville. These are in addition to the 8 projects that we've already completed since implementing the FMP in 2019. I want to take a quick moment here to offer my personal thanks to our trustees. Thank you to the 2022 board president, Karen Clemens Lewis, for her support and assistance, especially during last winter's Omicron phase of the pandemic. I also want to once again thank Monica Conan, who attended her final board meeting as a trustee this fall after serving on the board for 7 years, including as board president during the first year of the pandemic in 2020. My deepest appreciation to our amazing supportive community, and of course, to our staff who provide the heart and soul of our organization. That concludes my review of 2022. I'll move into recent budget and legislative activities. I think you all are aware the governor's budget that he introduced includes funding the PLF, the Public Library Fund, at 1.7 of the General Revenue Fund, and that would set the percentage at 1.7 in permanent law. More recent developments on the budget include the introduction of House Bill 1 by the State House of Representatives, led by Speaker Jason Stevens. HB 1 is seeking to make changes to Ohio's tax structure by introducing a flat tax of 2.75%, eliminating the 10% rollback, and reducing the local assessment percentage on Class 1 properties. If enacted, this would result in cuts to the amount of taxes the state takes in, eliminating significant payments known as rollbacks to schools and local governments, which includes libraries in this instance. For a bit of context, a recent Columbus Dispatch article noted Representative Adam Matthews, who's from just north of us up in Lebanon, pointed out that local school districts, for example, could go for votes for a new levy, putting those dollars into a more accountable form of government for our taxpayers and our communities. And he said, I think that's a win for everyone. OLC is currently reviewing the newly introduced bill and potential impact on Ohio public libraries like us. State legislators have been invited to join the library leadership next Monday for a breakfast at the Walnut Hills branch, the OLC's annual legislative day, where library advocates hold meetings in Columbus with elected officials. It's going to be held at the end of April on the 26th. Locally, as part of our efforts to raise awareness of the importance of the library, Government Relations Coordinator Elaine Faye and I have been meeting with our local elected leaders to provide updates. In late January, met with Mayor Purval and Hamilton County Commissioners Reese and Denise Driehaus. We will continue to schedule meetings in the coming months. Moving on to period products, as noted in our December development report, the library recently received funds from the FR Luther Charitable Foundation Fifth Third Bank trustee for our period product initiative. Currently, locations are assessing their needs for updated or new period product dispensers. We will assess our needs and plan to have that initiative implemented over the next several months with the goal of offering products in some way at nearly all public locations by the end of 2023. We are following the lead. As many of you may know, Hamilton County has taken that step in their buildings as well. Did want to note that NKU Distinguished Alumni Award this year, I have been nominated for Northern Kentucky University's Master of Public Administration Distinguished Alumni Award. And thank you very much. The annual award recognizes someone from their MPA program in serving and helping individuals and communities, and it will be presented there at their spring event in April. Community survey, we commissioned a week-long awareness survey of our citizens through telephone during the last week of January. The survey focused on understanding various matters in the community, particularly as they relate to library usage. We will be processing and analyzing that info during the next several weeks in order to determine ways to increase community awareness of all that the library has to offer. And lastly, I did want to note officially, and this will require a little action vote, board bylaws update. As discussed in the December board meeting, we are adding one committee to our board committee list this year. Assignments noted in the annual meeting, a nominating committee. The board bylaws, which are Exhibit 2, have been updated and approval is requested. Thank you. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Well, I'd like to, for someone to make a motion to accept the change to the board bylaws.
I move we accept changes.
I'd actually like the motion for discussion. Can we talk about what's the role of this committee? Why are we bringing this forward? Get some details.
Well, after a second, we will have a discussion. Did you want to second it and then start a discussion?
Sure,
All
I'll
right.
second it.
Okay.
And I'm happy to address that from our perspective. Every year we get people roll off and you have a trustee that is up for appointment. You know, 3 of them are for the judges of common pleas, 4 of them are from the county. And so we often are sort of like not ready to recommend a couple of people. Obviously, we're not the appointing. We won't actually have final say, but over the years, we have started to say, should we put someone forward and send a letter that says, hey, you might want to consider these people, and then they bring forward who they say anyway. And we thought, following the lead of a couple other major metros in Ohio, it might be good to say, these are 3 or 4 people that we have talked to, have expressed their willingness to participate. It's a really long appointment. It's 7 years by Ohio Revised Code, and that's quite a commitment. So just trying to get some feeling for if the county commissioners or the judges are looking for some suggestions, and they may know some people as well, that these are folks that we think would be interested and up for it.
Okay.
And I think we talked about it. If you have any other, anyone can add anything, but that is part of what the push was, because we haven't really, and we've had a lot of folks who served a long time and are starting to cycle off, so we've had more appointment need in the last couple of years than we had for
And then
couple
Paul, I'll
decades.
also add, from a historical perspective, we've had times where we've gone 2 board meetings or more without a board member, which can make it a challenge in getting a quorum.
That's what I was going to bring up.
Yeah.
Would this affect the time within which somebody is actually serving and nominated and
Yes.
serving on the board? We hope that might improve that.
Expedite that process because the quorum is required. And again, when we didn't do quite as much
Quorum, yes.
building, we didn't have the need to get things approved and move forward in order to build things and do things. But now that we have so much going on, having a board vacancy and then waiting 2 or 3 months until the next board meeting causes us some difficulty. So even just getting it on the radar to say hey, you need to appoint someone, let's
Right.
appoint someone.
Okay.
Did you have any other?
No, that's
Okay.
fine. Thank you.
Can I do the roll call vote real quick? Ms. Allen?
Aye.
Mr. Harding?
Aye.
Mr. Hendon?
Aye.
Mr. Olson? Ms. Redden?
Aye.
Ms. Reynolds?
Aye.
Thanks.
All right, I'm going to turn over to you, Mr. Hendon, to present the Facilities, Finance, and Audit Committee report.
All right, the Facilities Finance and Audit Committee met on February 16th, 2023 at the Reading Branch. Committee member Diane Cunningham Redden, Board President Nadine Allen were in attendance. Staff members Paul Bramheger and Molly DeFosse were also in attendance. It is a recommendation of the committee that the board take the following action. Concerning the main library project update. The interior renovation work at the main library continues. The installation of structural steel to support the new social stair is 30% complete. The structural walls for the atrium are being built. The electric and plumbing to support the new design are also in progress. Library is working closely with the design team on interior finishes and furniture selections. We need to confirm the following change orders to modify the interior renovations GMP for Turner Construction. One is a scope reduction for design modifications, credit of $3,128. Design modifications for conflict between MEP and structural, charge of $18,743. Additional work to coordinate MEP with architectural design, $7,543. We were recently engaged with Kramer Design and Production, a local firm who specializes in designing and building visitor attractions and entertainment projects for entities such as museums and nature centers, to assist with developing a unique experience in the renovated main library. We have scheduled some initial meetings in early March to develop design ideas. The same firm will also provide some design ideas for the new Forest Park Branch Children's Area. The installation of a new entry and vestibule off the North Plaza is under construction. North parking lot modifications are also complete, including installation of the perimeter fencing. The installation of security equipment is the only open item which should be completed at the end of March 2023. Library leadership team is continuing to identify necessary internal improvements outside of the scope of Turner's work to support the new main library. This includes refresh items, relocating the staff to support the new service delivery. 2023 budget includes $2 million in continued maintenance dollars to support these improvements. Most of this work will be performed by the library maintenance team, and some of the budget will be used for furniture purchases. For any of the work that requires infrastructure modifications, the library will work with Kaplan and Turner to include a change order to the interior renovation project. Ongoing maintenance, Pleasant Ridge and Coreyville. The interior of the Pleasant Ridge Branch project is on schedule to be completed in February 2023, with the branch to reopen in March 2023. There are a few exterior items that will be completed at the end of April 2023. The Coreyville branch closed in mid-November. The interior and exterior work is ongoing. The original schedule called for the work to be completed in April 2023, with a possible branch opening in late May or early June. The interior is scheduled to be completed by April 2023. But the arrival of the replacement windows is not expected until early June. In the interest of streamlining the window installation, not complicating service delivery during that time, we have adjusted the project reopening date to late June. Upon confirmation of the expected window delivery date, we will amend the current agreement with Pepper Construction as necessary. Now we need to confirm the following change order to modify the Coreyville Branch GMP for Pepper Construction. Unforeseen deterioration on the concrete wall between the front stairs, charge of $8,913.83. On the Forest Park Branch Property Exchange, as a December board meeting, the board approved extending the closing date to 2/14/23. The parcel split has been completed by Forest Park. We're waiting final resolution of the existing electrical relocation. We anticipate the closing to occur in the next 30 days. As previously approved, the Eva Jane Room Director will execute the necessary closing documents. So we need to approve extending the Forest Park closing date to no later than March 31st, 2023. Now, the Hyde Park Branch elevator replacement and renovation. Demolition of the interior is almost complete. As anticipated, the demolition revealed several inconsistencies between the existing drawings from the 1970s renovation and the actual conditions. The library is working with both Turner and the design team to resolve any issues with minimal impact on design budget and timeline. We need to confirm the following change orders to modify Hyde Park Branch GMP for Turner Construction. Buyout savings from scope reduction, credit of $11,948. Not to exceed demolition of low voltage wires, $8,500. Not to exceed abatement of unforeseen conditions, $15,000. Now, the Green Township branch refresh. Confirm the following change order to modify Green Township branch refresh project for Let's Construction. General Trades, replace the fire extinguisher cabinet, $362.25.
May I ask, is that the only refresh they're getting?
Oh, no, that's just the
No,
refresh
the
is all
project was
done.
much larger than that. That was just the final thing to tie it up.
They are getting a little bit more.
Oh, they got a lot of work done.
Just
Yeah,
a new cabinet. Yeah. Molly, I'll for Venmo that money.
yeah,
Just so the public knows, that's in addition to many other
yeah.
refreshments.
All right, West End Branch Renovation. Authorize Eva Jane Remain, CUM Director, to modify the branch renovation and replacement 2022-2027 agreement along with necessary change. Come on. Orders subsequent reported for confirmation on Turner Construction via GMP. Amendment subject to owner and attorney review as follows. GMP inclusive of CMR fee and CMR contingency equal to or less than $1,900,000 with a project budget of $2,800,000 detailed below. CMR costs inclusive of fee, $1,900,000. Owner cost estimate, design, fees, permits, and furniture. That totals, $670,000. Contingency of $230,000. Total cost of $2,800,000. Work is expected to begin around March 15, 2023. The branch will be closed during construction and is expected to be completed August 2023. 2023 Resources and Appropriations Update. Subsequent to the December 22 board meeting, Library received an updated PLF estimate for 2023. Revised estimate is $2,730,942 less than previously reported. Based on the updated estimate, the general fund resources and appropriation reported to the county in January 23 includes the updated estimate of $49,583,636. Also, carry forward from the building and repair fund for 2022 was overestimated, a result of a timing difference and a typographical error prepared by the 2023 Resources and Appropriation. As a result, the 2023 available resources are included in fund balances in the year-end summary below, and revised appropriations are detailed as follows. And I'm not going to read each one of those. You have those in your report. Total expenditure, $37,750,000. Now, we need to confirm the modifications in the amounts reported in the December 22 board meeting. Correct amounts reported to the county is 2023. Authorize the transfer of funds. Authorize the transfer of funds, $22,000, including 2023 appropriations, to be transferred from the general fund to the building and repair fund during the year as cash flow permits to determine the chief financial and facilities officers.
Do we need to clarify that?
Clarify, point of order.
It's 22 million, not 22,000?
Okay.
Did I say 22,000?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
So
I want to make sure it's clear.
so
'cause
noted.
We have to authorize it.
All right, waive public bidding. The condensing unit at Groesbeck has been failing over the past several months. The library's team has been working towards a resolution over the last few years and determined the unit cannot be repaired. Initial estimate is approximately $85,000 in excess of the $50,000 bid threshold. It has a 14 to 18 week lead time. We plan to quickly work with an engineer to review the design. As a result of the lead time, we will need to expedite the purchase. Waive public bidding based on urgent necessity as permitted in ORC 3375.41. In addition, we're requesting authorization for Paula Bremheger, Eva Jane Remain, CUM Director, to enter into contract with necessary contractors and authority to approve change orders as necessary to execute the certification of substantial completion as necessary. The contract amount and any change orders will be reported by the board in April. I need someone to second the recommendations.
So moved.
Okay. Ms. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Harding?
Yes.
Mr. Hendon?
Yes.
Mr. Olson?
Yes.
Ms. Redden?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
I do have one question regarding extending the Forest Park closing. Is it possible that we make it a point to do that through the next board meeting, just in case it extends beyond 3/31?
If it goes beyond 3/31, we're going to have construction issues, because they're ready to start construction by mid-April and they can't get the permit. We had a meeting today, and we feel pretty confident we're going to have it done in 2 weeks.
Okay.
We met with a representative from Duke and Forest Park, so we feel pretty confident.
Mr. Olson, if it were to come to that, we'd probably have to have an emergency board meeting to reassess a couple of the
Yeah.
deadlines associated with Forest Park. So it's a good point, and probably people should be somewhat aware. I hope it will
Just keep us
resolve.
posted,
Yeah, and if it does not, it would cause some subsequent issues that would probably cause us to have another meeting for some voting around.
Okay, that's good to know.
deadlines.
Yeah.
So for clarification, this deals with Duke relocating electrical lines. There's nothing to do with Forest Park or disagreements.
Well, it's
Just
really,
for the
Forest Park,
public.
yeah, Forest Park has to do that, work that out with Duke, because we don't want to take possession of the property until they've done that.
And it's
Duke
been-
is working on it now.
Duke is working on it, and Duke has a plan, and Forest Park has, they believe in the next 2 weeks they'll have their contract with Duke, and then their contractor will be on board to do it, so.
Is there anything we can do to help further that, or that was sort of today's conversation?
Yeah, I think we've struggled over the last about 6 weeks, but I think we've been able to get where we need to get to with them, and they're anxious to make it happen.
They are.
All right then. You have some information only items. Back to you, Mr. Hendon.
All right, the rest is for information only. Madisonville branch accessibility. On December 13th, 2022, the library notified Megan Construction that as a result of the ongoing delay with the project completion, the library intends to enforce liquidated damage clause of the agreement based on a substantial completion date of January 11th, 2023. The delay in the delivery of the electric panel had been resolved via design modification and selection of a different panel. Construction is complete and the certificate of occupancy is expected in mid-February. We're planning for a ribbon cutting ceremony in mid-March with a grand opening celebration a few days later. Now, the Forest Park branch replacement, we're continuing to work with the architect SHP and construction manager at risk, Turner Construction, on the design. We anticipate receiving an updated cost estimate in the next few weeks and to move in onto construction documents. The plan to have the guaranteed maximum price at the April 2023 board meeting with construction beginning shortly thereafter. Now, the Walnut Hills branch accessibility resolution for the new remaining punch list items has been very slow. We continue to work with Megan Construction on these issues. Library and Model Group have successfully completed a property exchange for parcels that will provide Model Group with the space they need for their development and provide adjacent accessible parking for the library. The construction and development is underway and is expected to be completed in late 2023 and early 2024. Now, 2022 year-end summary. Table below represents the final 22 available fund balances as were reported in the county in January 23. The variances from the 2023 report and result of overall favorable actual activity as compared to the estimates. And you can see the estimates and the estimate resources appropriations. HRIS payroll system. A new HRIS payroll system went live on December 25th, 2022. There have been several challenges during the implementation of the timekeeping and payroll processing components of the system. The payroll team is continuing to work through the issues and investigating the potential use of time clocks versus table kiosks currently used by non-exempt employees. The fiscal and human resources team appropriate patience and cooperate with all library staff. MINIS accounting system. As previously reported, the library implemented a new financial accounting system, ERP Solutions, on January 1st, 2023. The fiscal office team led by Michelle Sanders, fiscal manager, has worked with users over the system to set up workflow and reporting to reduce manual work. Eliminate redundancies, capitalize on current technology, and increase transparency, both internally and externally. As with most systems, we are working with some of the issues and hope to have all components fully complete this year.
So I guess this means the staff has been having a lot of fun with these new systems, 2 major new systems, payroll and
Lots of fun.
And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Hendon, and now I'll turn the meeting over to Ms. Redden for the HR committee report.
Thank you.
HR report.
Thank you very much. This report compiled by Kyle Harden. Thank you very much. Policy updates. The goal for 2023 is to continue to review and update policies in an effort to ensure that they are clear, concise, and reflect the current practices of the library. We request approval of the attached policy updates and changes. The revised policies are as follows. Sick leave policy, proposed policy Exhibit A, current Exhibit B. Paid time off policy, proposed Exhibit C, current Exhibit D. Timekeeping policy, proposed Exhibit E, current Exhibit F. Sick leave and paid time off policies. We are recommending, in addition to the current sick leave and paid time off policies, that will align those policies with our current practices. The guidance and staff must use all accrued paid leave when applicable before requesting an unpaid leave is being added to both policies and to clarify the current process of when an unpaid leave can be requested. An additional revision to the sick leave policy has also been added to clarify that if a staff member moves from a full-time status to a part-time status, the accumulated sick leave balance will be reduced to the maximum balance of part-time staff. Timekeeping policy. We are recommending updates to the timekeeping policy that will remove references to former processes of our legacy timekeeping system. Additional updates will clarify that staff need to be in their designated work area when clocking in and out unless prior manager approval has been obtained, and that non-exempt staff must be clocked in whenever engaging in work. Could I get a motion to accept these action items?
Motion to accept?
Second?
Second.
Thank you very much.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
If there's an individual who moves from full-time to part-time and they have accumulated sick leave where they would forfeit some of their unused but accrued time off, is that paid to them or they just lose it?
It is paid in PTO, but not in sick leave. So like if a staff member also leaves the library, sick leave is not paid out to them, just PTO.
So you lose sick
You
leave?
do, according to a part-time status.
We pay our PTO.
Well, it happens.
Yeah,
Just
well,
curious.
and I mean, to be honest, we have people who are at their max and they lose sick time and PTO every pay period because they've hit those maxes already.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna, at this time.
Okay, I gotta do my roll call.
Oh, the roll
Okay,
call.
yeah, Miss Allen,
Aye.
Mr. Hendon,
Aye.
Mr. Harding,
Aye.
Mr. Olson,
Nice.
Miss Redden,
Aye.
Miss Reynolds.
Aye.
Thanks.
All right, and now Ms. Reynolds, filling in for Chair Karen.
There's
She's
time
got a little
for
more
all
left.
policies.
She's got some.
Oh, we have informational items only.
I have 5 more pages.
Okay, oh,
Stop.
please do continue.
You gotta-
I left you with a lot of work to
She was
do.
helping me out.
They're just exhibits,
We
right?
have to tell her. DEI Steering Committee and Employee Resource Groups. An internal staff diversity, equity, and inclusion steering committee has been created consisting of staff from various levels of the organization, with Dr. Hill overseeing the group and serving as the senior leadership liaison. The committee will focus on engaging staff to create spaces for continued DEI conversations and growth to provide feedback to senior leaders. Future plans include creation of employees resource groups, staff recognition program. The 10th annual staff recognition program will be held on Sunday, May 21st at the Colping Center beginning at 5:30, with the program to commence at 6:15. This year, service recognition pins will be given to all staff reaching a 5-year increment anniversary. This year's event will recognize Ebony Gordon, Public Safety Manager, who has been awarded the Rookie of the Year. Kathy Sebastian, Children's Librarian at the Miami Township Branch, will also be recognized as the Impact Award and Bunny Dano Prize recipient for her exceptional contributions and service. We look forward to celebrating those receiving recognition and those who will be honored for their accomplishments. So then we have Exhibit A, which was called out in the action item, correct?
Yeah.
Exhibit A and B. So we're not reading any of those, they're in your packets. Exhibit C, that's proposed time off policy versus the current paid off time policy. And Exhibit D, proposed record keeping, timekeeping policy, which eliminates some of the legacy language that was in the old one. And that concludes my report, happily.
That was a wonderful six,
Thank you,
extra
retired
6
judge.
pages. That's 6 pages I've ever heard.
It's wonderful.
All right. And now I'd like to turn things over to Ms. Reynolds. I want to thank you for filling in today for Chair Karen Clemens Lewis for the operations report.
Thank you. Do you say your name Kathy Bach or Back?
Bach.
Kathy Bach. This report on the operations items prepared by Kathy Bach begins with Tara Kressler, our new Assistant Public Service Director. Tara Kressler is our new Assistant Public Service Director. Tara earned her master's in library science at the University of Kentucky and her undergraduate degree in art history at the University of Cincinnati. Let's go X. Before joining the service team as a regional manager in 2002, she managed the Sims Township branch, our busiest location for a decade. Previous to Sims, Tara managed the Loveland and Avondale branches and worked as a librarian at the College Hill and Corryville branches, beginning her career at the West End branch in 1996. In addition to her work with the library, Tara has been a longtime member of the Ohio Library Council, holding numerous leadership roles on action councils and the Professional Development Committee. Currently, Tara is chairing the local arrangements team for this year's OLC Convention and Expo, which will be held in Cincinnati. Service leadership.
I think, so we can go
Yes.
ahead and let Tara talk to us for a few minutes.
Oh,
Thank
yeah,
you. Sorry,
wonderful.
Colleen.
Excellent.
Hi, everyone. I'm Tara.
Hi, Tara.
Thank you to the Board of Trustees, Go Bearcats, and fellow senior leadership team for inviting me to speak. Sorry.
Keep your watch on.
Thank you for inviting me to speak today. I'm excited to share information about my newly created role in service and provide updates happening with Main Library construction. I've been in this capacity as Assistant Public Services Director for over a month, and my work is heavily project-based due to ongoing construction. I'm responsible for Region 4, a reorganization of the Main Library's public service departments, as well as hospitality, public safety, conservation services, and lifelong learning. I also support the Public Services Director in the day-to-day operation of the service division as needed. Currently, I'm collaborating with Holbrook Sample, the designers, and Region 4 managers on our vision for the space and collection of the South Building, and I'll share a high-level perspective. The intention is for the library to be a destination, and that begins in the plaza space outside. The North Plaza will be activated with pop-up programs and performances. The South Plaza will feature interactive art that will engage customers to come in. As you enter the library, the vibe will be energetic, fun, and colorful. Inside on the left, there will be 3 meeting rooms, each with audiovisual capabilities and can expand to one large room. On the right will be the new popular library. This will be an amazing space with a next-gen sized collection of materials. It will also feature a play area, one for babies and one for toddlers, a programming space, a teen gaming area, and seating along the Vine Street windows. The main area on the first floor will feature a large presentation screen located near the social stairs that will have the ability to focus an audience of hundreds, allowing the atrium to become one gathering space. The social stairs will be incredible. They will feature a colorful art glass railing representing Cincinnati's musical heritage that includes more than 1,500 song titles and artists. The stairs will provide seating and a gathering space that will lead us to the second floor story center. The intention of the second floor is collaborative and creative. The Story Center will be a place for content creation where customers can connect with their personal and community history. We will begin that cross-divisional planning in March. The third floor will be quiet, studious, and more traditional. There will be additional meeting rooms, newly renovated restrooms, and the collections will feature art and music, which includes a companion CD collection and scores. Moving forward, I'll work with the public services managers at Maine and pertinent divisions to plan post-renovation service needs, including navigation of the two buildings, technology support, meeting room, and event coordination. So we're giving careful thought to a customer's journey to make it a destination for minds of all kinds. So thank you, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Yes, I would like you to expound a little bit on why we have 1,400 musical artists in our region and how that came about. What Cincinnati's role is in that.
Well, we have quite a musical heritage in Cincinnati, and we've collaborated with King Records and other companies to create this curated list of song titles and artists that are pertinent to Cincinnati and have this history with Cincinnati, from Cincinnati.
So a lot of them it was either produced, or is it just writers and singers that came from here? Or is it? It's a combination of those.
Yeah, like Doris Day
Songwriters.
is on the list, yeah.
Doris Day,
Mhm.
yes.
Yeah.
The OJs, not the OJs, but the Isley Brothers, so many other famous
Yeah,
people.
it's a comprehensive list, we just,
Oh, Chuck Berry, the twist was
Yeah.
from.
so all of that will be included.
How do you get that into the?
I know. That was a long walk
There's a
around the
theme
park to
here.
get there.
Lots
Yeah.
of twists going on over here.
We
Please
think
do.
everybody should learn how to, remember how to do the twist.
You'll lead
Yes.
us on the grand opening.
Everybody knows how to do the twist. Thank you
you.
for that report.
Thanks.
And thank you for that, and I want to turn this matters over to, or is there something else?
Colleen's still going.
Okay.
Still.
Oh, Colleen,
She's
you got
a couple
more?
Plenty more.
I know.
Oh, that's right, I see more here. I do
Any
see
other
more
questions for
here.
Tara?
Thank you. Thank
All
you,
right.
Thank you.
Service leadership reorganization. Brett Bonfield, our former chief operating officer, left the library in early January to return to the East Coast. His departure provided an opportunity to reorganize the leadership of the service division, taking into account evolving needs for how to best support staff and enhance our project capacity. On January 8th, Kathy Bach started in her new role as the Public Services Director. She is joined in leadership by Tara Kressler, Assistant Public Services Director, and two new regional managers, Michelle Elliott and Chad Lewis. Positions vacant due to recent retirements by Chris Holt and Katie Griefenkamp. Woohoo! Michelle, Chad, and current regional manager Sajari Chatterjee oversee regional areas consisting of a dozen branches each. Tara oversees the main library, public safety, custodial services, and is heavily involved in the construction project for our main library's south building. Social staircase at main library. We continue our work with the Champlin Architects and Group 4 on the south building's new social staircase. This signature element of the renovated south building will invite customers to gather and connect, reflecting the way that Cincinnati's long musical history can bring people together. With that concept in mind, the architects are incorporating Cincinnati's extensive music history into the design of the social staircase. There are over 1,400 entries on the staircase in chronological order by year, starting in 1945. Each entry appears on a vertical line with the artist's name, the song or album title, and the year of the release date. Each line will have a color determined by the genre of the entry. The new staircase is a design intended to encourage the public to discover the musical story of our city and region, and to inspire future local musicians to add their song to this impressive jukebox of music. Thanks to reference librarian Brian Powers, who led the planning team and worked extensively with local members of various music communities. Thanks to so many who provided input.
Thank you, that's awesome. Do we still have those glass
yeah.
samples here? If anybody wants to take a look at those and how the different colors of each genre will be displayed. And so, thank you with that. I'll turn things over now to Mr. Harding, Strategy Committee Chair.
Thank you. And thank you to Beth Yoke for preparing this report. Starting off, we'd like to talk about our partnerships with Hamilton County. We are hosting the 513relief.org bus at 5 library locations this spring to connect residents with federal, state, and local programs designed to help families find stability in challenging times and to ensure equity of access to these resources. Services will include assistance with eviction, prevention, rent, and utilities. And I will say the bus is beautiful. I've been able to tour it myself. It's been out in a few communities already, so I'm excited to see that roll out with our local branches. Moving on to our annual report, marketing recently published our annual report, which highlights the library's accomplishments, statistics, and financials for 2022. The report also features stories of customers whose lives have been positively impacted by the library. A digital version of this report is available at our website at chpl.org/annual report. The Madison branch opening celebration is underway in terms of planning. Marketing and communications are preparing for the opening of the new Madisonville branch. Among the highlights we will be celebrating is the new branch's maker equipment, which will be showcased through sample customer projects and book displays developed in coordination with community partners. A ribbon cutting will be held for a soft opening as soon as possible, with the exciting weekend community celebration to follow. The customer service experience team has drafted a customer experience framework, which will roll out to the staff in the coming months, titled You Belong Here. This framework consists of 3 levels: collaboration, creation, and connection. The goal is to ensure that our library provides an excellent, consistent, and on-brand customer experience across all locations. And updates about our Adult Learning Center. The Adult Learning Center conducted 488 in-person sessions during January, helping customers enhance life skills and providing assistance with the Cincinnati Metropolitan Housing Authority's Housing Voucher Lottery. Examples of ALC's classes and life skills support include 32 classes that were held for 500 customers, from meal planning to popular consumer protection series hosted by a representative from the Ohio Attorney General's Education Division, 3 new ESOL classes, along with wellness and social connectivity classes, such as beginning gardening and hiking classes will be held this spring. And 26 other classes will focus on career 101s. The ALC has begun providing weekly career and computer training at the shelter house for residents to build their workforce readiness skills, including computer skills and resume writing. Some updates from our outreach department. They have recently received 75 iPads, cases, and accessories with funding from the Library Foundation, with the goal of helping seniors stay connected to families and friends and access digital library resources. Staff are reaching out to community partners to set up the distribution of devices to older adults with limited access to technology who are living in long-term care facilities. We'll provide trainings for the seniors in early March 2023. Outreach continues to also support the local YMCA with book collections that tie into their quarterly challenges. This month, we are providing materials about building healthy habits. Finally, we continue to provide in-person COVID rapid and PCR testing, plus testing for the flu, RSV, and strep throat at our Price Hill and Sharonville locations, in partnership with Hamilton County Public Health. Since spring 2021, we have distributed more than 200,000 at-home COVID test kits at our drive-thru locations, adding the Forest Park branch and North Central branch on request from Hamilton County, so that residents of northern part of the county have equitable access to kits. Test kits are provided in partnership with the Ohio Department of Health and the Ohio Library Council. We are also hosting the Get Covered Ohio Free Store Food Bank and Equitas Health in many of our locations to assist residents in navigating eligibility and enrollment in Marketplace Insurance and Medicaid. The Walnut Hills branch hosted a Beat the Deadline event in early January. The deadline to enroll was January 15th. And beginning this April, the federal government starts to roll back pandemic-related benefits for those on Medicaid and requires residents to update their information and complete renewal forms. Our health insurance partners are holding several events in 5 of our library locations to assist residents in understanding this process and to offer appointments for personalized assistance. And the Workforce Investment Council, Council of Southwest Ohio, recently awarded our library with the Workforce Champion Award for innovation for the job fairs that we organized and hosted in 2022. The Workforce Development staff team provided our 4th job fair at the Walnut Hills branch in January, hosting employers promoting their in-demand jobs, including Amazon, Cincinnati Public School, Cincinnati State, DHL, Eastern Personnel Services, and UPS. Our job fairs are in partnership with Supply Chain OKI, Ohio Means Jobs, and Cincinnati and Hamilton County, and the Workforce Council of Southwest Ohio. And that concludes my report.
Thank you for that
Thank you.
report. Now we'll turn matters over to Mr. Olson for the technology report.
Thank you, Dee. This report was prepared by Holbrook Sample. Technology items, renovating the main south, reorganizing the collections. The materials on the three public floors on the south building of the main library are a fundamental element of the library's identity. With the renovation of the south building underway, a group of staff and senior leaders have worked, sometimes with outside consultation, to reimagine the layout of those 10,000 shelves to align with the new design and maintain the strength of the current collection. The public floor collection will be approximately the same size, with some duplicates and deeply worn items removed. The first floor, where much of the exciting construction work is being done, will have the newest, most popular books, CDs, and DVDs. Additionally, adult fiction and the teen collection will share the space of the 50s building with new furniture, meeting spots, and a dynamic children's area with a robust collection for kids. The second floor will be the reference floor, where we are going to add shelving to accommodate the materials from the third floor, with the genealogy and local history department also relocating. All nonfiction items, minus art and music, will be readily accessible, with staff help at the ready on the second floor. The third floor will focus on art and music. The other books, all nonfiction, currently on the third floor, will move to the second floor. I assume to get to the art and music, you have to follow the rail. Can't see all 1,400 if you don't go to the third floor. Clever, well done. The work of staging, shifting, and moving all those books will be led by a cross-departmental team coordinated with facility staff who will prepare the areas and build the shelving. We will begin this movement of material and rearrangement on the floor collection this March as we prepare for reopening the main library next year. That's great. And that concludes my report, Holbrook's report. Thank you.
Thank you for that, and I will
You're
turn
welcome.
things over to Ms. Reynolds, Development Committee Member for the Development Report.
Thank you, Nadine. This report was prepared by Stacy Dennison, our Chief Development Officer. For information only, the Library Foundation's fall campaign was a smashing success with an increase of 45% more donations than the previous year. Claps for that. Significant gifts were received from, and I'm going to butcher some of these names, so you help me, Robert Dorsey and David N. and Ann Early Foundation for the Marymount Branch, Julie Beatty, the Him and Bessie Passman Family Charitable Foundation, the Gilman Family Fund, Bruce J. Stewart, Anonymous, Joyce and Marshall McHenry, Anira Shell, Janet and Paul Sullivan, and the estate of Carol A. Helly. In addition to these individual donations, grants were received from the Johnson Foundation for Workforce Development, as well as the Ed and Joan Hubert Family Foundation and Wolgamuth Hershedy Foundation for Discover Summer. How'd I do? Okay. Additional grant requests have been submitted and are under review. At the Foundation's February board meeting, it was reported that just over $1 million has been contributed to support the library since July of 2022, and the endowment portfolio is over $10 million.
Wow.
Friends of the Public Library, holiday sales at the Friends of the Public Library bookstore and warehouse remained strong throughout the season. Moreover, used book donations to library locations and at the warehouse continue to be steady. March is Members Month at the Friends Bookstore and Warehouse, where all members get 20% off of their purchases. The Friends have had much success on social media, specifically with Instagram and Bookstagrammers promoting the bookstore and warehouse. To continue to engage this demographic and their followers, they are hosting an adult book fair on Wednesday, March 1st from 5 to 8 p.m. at 9 Giant Brewing in the Firmatorium event space. Anderson Township Library Association, at their December board meeting, ATLA provided $35,000, included in consent agenda, in support of the Anderson and Mount Washington branches. This funding supports programs, professional development, and supplies at these branches. The financial information presented in this report is not intended to tie to library financial information. That concludes my report, but if I may, speaking of Instagram influencers, just want to highlight the viral TikTok that the library had a couple weeks ago. Friends from across the country were texting me, your library is trending 2.7 million views on that TikTok. So bravo to the social media team for the library and those who are on social media. Well
So we're on
done.
TikTok.
Yes, you are.
And then some. I will say that, just to add a little bit, the night that sort of blew up, I went to a chamber event at the Side Museum, and everybody who was under a certain age that walked up to me was like, "Oh my God, I love your TikTok," and everyone who was like my age was like, "What?
You're what?
Oh my God."
What's a TikTok?
Yeah, exactly. What do you do? And then the other.
We're keeping you young,
I'll
huh?
send it to you. I'll send it to you. So it was great.
Well, what was it? I missed it.
I'll send it to you again. Yeah, it's very
It's
fun.
Maybe I saw
full
it.
of joy.
Yeah.
Which one was it?
It was the library staffer at the Groesbeck branch pulling holds and sort of a send-up of a very lovely woman who was going shopping in a manner that was very graceful, and our library staffer having a different interpretation of pulling the
I
holds.
see.
Yeah, it was great fun.
Very
It was
cool.
really good
That's
fun. Yeah.
Wait till
Yeah.
they see the opening of the.
TikTok, it's
We'll have a
You might have to
TikToker,
be
so we'll be
at
ready.
If you want to get on the map, that's going to do it international.
Yes, international.
It's going to go to Europe too, Asia and Africa. And at this point,
So-
I would like to move that we have a voice vote for approval of the consent items.
We need a motion first.
I move.
Okay,
Second?
okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
And I need a motion and voice vote for the adjournment. I move the adjournment.
Madam President, just could I have a point of personal privilege? Very quickly. I just wanted to highlight an amazing project that the library has helped out with in partnership with the Records Commission. There's going to be some news, so I don't know how familiar my fellow board members are about the March 1884 courthouse riot. But to give a brief overview, there was a trial that upset a lot of folks, so much so that they marched down to Court Street and burnt the building down. Over 12,000 books were burned in the process. 4 survived. And a lot of the county offices were housed in that building too. So there were dozens of other offices that were affected. But recently, it was discovered that there were some meeting minutes of the county commissioners that were recovered, and thank you to our genealogy folks who have been able to digitize those records. But I've been told that the Inquirer is getting ready to write an article about our efforts there. So I just want to commend those that have helped out with the project. Thank you also to Jason Alexander from the Records Commission. But it's a wonderful project, and a shout out to our local historians.
Right.
And I had the pleasure of going down to the courthouse. They invited us down. They've been so thrilled, and they
Yeah.
showed us these cool books. So you have to be, I thought, I'm going to nerd out on this as a librarian. But I can't wait. It's very cool. I think thank you very much. That was very exciting.
And I have one other item, if I may, while I want to get to my next appointment. It's very important, as someone who's in the building and development trade, that I recognize the effort that both Paula and Molly are doing, in addition to bringing on the new accounting system as well as the payroll system. What you do and the amount of different contractors and CMR folks that you deal with on a regular basis is truly amazing, given your normal day jobs. That's layered on top of it, and it's not lost on me, and I want everybody else to know how impressed I am with that. And I'm extremely surprised, especially during the end of the year with Christmas and the other holidays going on, how much you both accomplish and stay on top of. And, that's a
Group
real.
hug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Group hug.
Thank you very much.
you.
And we are blessed with very great staff. We have an awesome team, and everybody is a contributor. Thank you. Thank you.
Boy, we should have these kinds of post-meeting discussions. Like, I love this. Thank you so much. That's
Yeah.
great. And, you all did a great job. Thank you for shouting out to all of our staff who prepare these reports, because they spend a lot of time trying to maximize the information with minimal time and every other week, every other month format. So I appreciate you all paid such close attention. That's great.
Yeah, thank you. And so, do we ever move to adjourn?
Move
Full
to
point?
adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.
Have fun at your game.